let's shift focus to Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that his country is only beginning its campaign against the Houthis in Yemen. This follows a series of airstrikes that reportedly killed at least 6 individuals. The United Nations has urged restraint, cautioning that such actions pose significant risks to humanitarian operations within the region. The strikes also caused disruption near the World Health Organization's head, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who narrowly escaped after the strikes occurred mere meters from the plane he was about to board at the capital's airport in Sana'a. Explosions were also reported at the Red Sea port of Hodeidah. Our correspondent in Jerusalem, Harash Kal, describes the scene as one of panic and fear, with people scrambling to evacuate the airport after the Israeli airstrike. The Israeli Defense Forces claim to have targeted Houthi military infrastructure. Additionally, the port city of Hodeidah was hit, with Houthi officials condemning the attacks as barbaric and labeling them crimes against the Yemeni people. Israel's military stated that the targets were sites utilized by the Houthis for smuggling Iranian weapons into the region. This marks the second airstrike by Israel on Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen in less than a week. The Houthis, an Iran-backed armed group that controls northwestern Yemen, initiated their assaults shortly after the Gaza conflict erupted in October last year. Their attacks, which they assert are in solidarity with Palestinians, initially targeted international shipping. Just this past Saturday, a missile launched from Yemen injured over a dozen people in Tel Aviv when it landed in a public park. Israel has vowed to respond decisively, with Prime Minister Netanyahu asserting that they will continue dismantling the Iranian axis of evil until their mission is completed. The Houthis, on their part, have promised to persist in their strikes until the Gaza war concludes. Meanwhile, the broader regional conflict that the Gaza war triggered shows no signs of abating. Speaking to our correspondent in Jerusalem, Ahmad A., he elaborated on the escalation over the past week. We've observed a significant increase in the number of missiles launched by Houthi rebels in Yemen towards Israel, matched by Israel's retaliatory strikes, he noted. The Israeli Air Force targeted various locations in Yemen yesterday, including Sana's main international airport, Red Sea ports, and key energy infrastructure, reportedly killing 6 people. The UN Secretary-General has called for restraint, emphasizing that strikes on public infrastructure are particularly alarming in a country like Yemen, where over 80% of the population relies on humanitarian aid. From Israel's perspective, this conflict has become a central aspect of their military strategy, with Prime Minister Netanyahu pledging to target the Houthi leadership and indicating that their campaign is far from over. The Houthis, based over 1,200 miles away from Israel, have launched missiles and rockets in what they claim is solidarity with Gaza. This has also prompted involvement from the US and UK militaries, whose air forces have joined the coalition in striking Houthi targets. Netanyahu's statements suggest that Israel is committed to intensifying its operations. This highlights how deeply the Gaza war continues to ripple across the region. On the matter of Gaza itself, the prospect of a ceasefire remains uncertain. While there was initial optimism, recent developments suggest progress has stalled. Disputes have arisen between Israel and Hamas over accusations of changing conditions, with Netanyahu accusing Hamas of reneging on earlier agreements. Meanwhile, some negotiating team members anonymously claim that Netanyahu's public remarks have undermined the talks. Dr. Ali Mamouri, a research fellow at Deakin University and former strategic communications advisor to the Iraqi Prime Minister, provided his insights. Netanyahu's campaign against Iran's proxies in the region was anticipated, he explained. Following significant defeats for Hamas and Hezbollah, which have weakened their operational capabilities, and the fall of Assad, Yemen appears to be the next target. Unlike Saudi-led operations, Israel's aims are narrower: to eliminate Houthi leadership, destroy missile and military capabilities, and secure Red Sea shipping lanes. This focused approach seems achievable for Israel and defines its immediate objectives.